give a round of applause for Stephen Horsberg, who has led the charge. Please give a round of applause. And I don't mean a weak round of applause. I mean show him some love. This is a special day. I didn't even realize how significant this day was to you. I mean, I am standing here with giants and legends. And to have a partner as we try to do this important work. It took a leader. And for those of you who don't know, this is not the first time that Stephen introduced this bill, but it has grown, and the support has grown, the need has grown. But he was a leader, and he knows that I tracked him down to say, we want to be a part of the effort to break the cycle. So I am Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester. I represent the state of Delaware. And I want to again thank my friend and colleague. I also want to thank all of the advocates and the young people that are standing with us today and that work every single day to make sure that we break this cycle of violence. Many of them have already been working tirelessly on initiatives, on programs, going after funding. So they know what works. We just got to get with the program. We need to get with the program. I also, in addition to thanking Stephen, I want to thank Senator Booker for his leadership on the Senate side, and also our co-leads, Robin Kelly, who has one of the first people I met in Congress that championed this issue and has schooled me. Yvette Clark, who, look, Brooklyn in the house, who can speak with authority on these issues. I'm going to turn around Danny Davis, why we have Juneteenth even, right? I'm going to turn around to Lucy McBath, who is an inspiration to all of us, who took her pain and turned it into purpose and is here today advocating for these issues. I thank them. And then to Jim Clyburn, Mr. Clyburn, our whip, but also really a person who helped move our democracy in the direction it is now with the election of our president, but also for his work every single day. I want to thank them as well as the Congressional Black Caucus as a whole under the leadership of Joyce Beatty. Yes, I heard a woo woo for Joyce Beatty. And also for Hakeem Jeffries, who is our leader as well. We all come from different backgrounds, we all bring different experiences, but we have a common goal: to ensure safe and thriving communities. And we know all too often that gun violence is a vicious cycle sometimes. Sometimes it starts with one person and then it goes to retaliation and then it causes trauma in our communities. So it is a vicious cycle. And so whether you are urban, suburban, or rural like Robin and I that come from places that represent all three, we know that everybody's feeling the impacts of gun violence. And it is our obligation, all of us, including Congress, to break the cycle. That's why, together with my colleagues, we are introducing a bill and proposing major investments in community and hospital-based violence intervention strategies, as well as job opportunities and pathways to success for violent, affected youth. This multi-sector approach to addressing violence also recognizes that the violence in our communities is a public health crisis of epidemic proportions. Let me repeat that. This is also about public health. This is about an epidemic. And that's why we approached it from that vantage point. That's why we're looking at evidence-based programs, because we want to make sure that we break the cycle for real. This type of comprehensive investment has never been made before. And when this legislation is passed, we will save lives. The Break the Cycle of Violence Act invests in wraparound services that not only look at the symptoms, but really address some of the root causes. Everything from mental health, housing, all of those different things that help to support individuals, jobs, resources. And included in it that we really worked hard on was a focus on impact, a focus on impact in our community, particularly through what is known as impact grants. That is a part of this bill and provides those pathways for our youth. For in-demand occupations, focus on training in digital and technological soft skills and creating economic opportunities. The investment is worth it. Our children are worth it. I will close by saying, in preparation for this, I saw a story about a 14-year-old who was recently murdered in my hometown, my home state of Wilmington. 14-year-old. This child was murdered. The bike was still on the ground, blood on the ground, on 35th Street. I grew up on 39th Street. For 40 years, my family lived on 39th Street. And as Stephen said, this is personal. And I just want to say a couple of numbers. 23, 22, 19, 19, 18, 17, 17, and 15. Those are the ages of the young people who were indicted. 21, 19, 17, 17, 14. Young people who were victims. It's not often in life when you get a chance to really do something that really, really matters. This bill matters. We need everybody across this country to make sure that we get this bill across the finish line. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week. We need you to be on the battlefield with us to make sure that we get this across the finish line. Because it's not just about our children. It's about our grandparents. It's about all of us that live with the trauma. And it is about creating that beloved community that Dr. King talked about. Some place where people can be free to play, free to have a job, free to have health care and housing and all the things that we talk about in our aspirations. And so I am proud to be with these people. I am proud to be with my partners in this. And I again encourage everybody, do your part. You don't have to do this. This is our job. Do your part so that we can break the cycle. Thank you. And next up, we have Lauren Renford.